Welcome back. On this instance of Tarkov University, we're going to be looking at my stash. What do I have in my stash? Why do I have it? Just the course of action that, I've taken. And after all of this time, I'm level 50 now. Got a few tasks to finish for Gamma or whatever, Kappa. And even then, I still have a bunch of things in my stash. And let's just find out what they're for still. And what you should be buying into, and what I'm still going to be buying into after the wipe, right? Lucky Scav Junk Box. I think everybody needs one, frankly. You're going to be putting all your items that you need for quest in there, but also for crafts. You're going to have some crafting materials. For example, here we have some power banks for crafting. Going to be trading also batteries, Tetris for bitcoins. I keep 3 bolts, 3 nuts for the one of the container craft that you can make with the blue fuel. The lighters are for either a trade or a craft for that blue fuel. Anything that has fuel in it, lighters, any kinds of lighters, matches. Matches are going to trade for the gray fuel tank with Prepper, I think. Box of RAM, kick tape. You're going to trade those with the engineer for a key card, labs key card. So these are pretty easy to find, easy to craft also. So for crafting the kick tape, you're going to need tape, white one, the blue one, 2 of these, and you can buy on market the little windshield washer. Grenade stuff, we could sell that. G phone, CPU, these are RAM, circuit boards, caps, wires. These are for graphics cards, craft, and other craft if you alternate in that station. DVDs and screwdrivers, hard drive and screwdrivers. You can craft circuit boards with them. Usually circuit boards are pretty cheap, but sometimes they go up to 40,000, 30,000, 40,000. Might as well craft them at that price, really. Pretty cheap tonight. You can put your intelligence here, your paper to craft water filters. If you come out of a raid with, say, some gunpowder in your pouch, you died, you can store it here too. If you want to craft something else at the crafting station, maybe sell that instead. Normally, I just sell the gunpowder. Fair price. Paracord, if you think about getting another THICC case. I'm still undecided if I want another THICC case. Find place to stash it. If you got fuel, extra fuel you want to put here. It's really going to be like a powerhouse in terms of container. And, instead of having all of this laying here in your stash, taking too much space, I mean, it's the perfect box, really. So it's got to be it's my most used box by far. Maybe aside the money case. So it might look like a lot of cash, but we're counting what right now? 18? We're looking at 18 million. 18 million is not much, but for me, it's quite enough to play the game for a whole week without not having enough cash. Or it's good for a few days without actually getting some of that cash back. But we're making a few millions per day in either trades or items on markets. It's making a few millions per day is going to be really not hard, really simple. You can store GP coins and other things, bitcoins, but I just sell those. Um, so these two, I don't see myself sparing uh, for those. I think you want those. They're kind of a must, and a lot of people will have two of them. Some people will say two junk box. Personally, sometimes it was tight. Okay, it was full, but when it's full, it's just time to trade. Just buy. Say maybe I can buy an extra Tetris, trade, save myself some slots here. Buff. I don't know if I need 7 filters. Frankly, I can sell two. I don't know if I need those paracords. You can sell that. Intelligence, you could sell that. Diaries. Maybe it's time for a trade. Trade your 4 diaries for intelligence. Save some space. And there's probably a few things I don't need here. So you just clean it out a few times. One thing I'm not finding myself using are keys, frankly. I very rarely use the keys. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be keeping those, to be frank. I mean, I have them. So if someone says, hey, let's do dorms, like I have keys for dorms, right? Someone wants to do resort. I think this is a good case, though. Like these are the best keys that I have, at least, and that I think are out there. Maybe I'm missing like the top key or whatever, but this is most of them. You can just double check them and see what's behind the door. For example, here we have a 316. I was looking into 316. If you're on the Escape from Tarkov wiki, you just write, I think it was SAN 316. East Wing Room 316 pops up. It tells you where to find it, which is awesome. Like you can go around and try to find keys in the world. That's pretty cool. I just bought or found some of them in the jackets, but then it'll tell you what's behind the lock, right? So a weapons box, another weapons box, a med case, a med bag, actually, which is even better, right? Med bags have a lot of possible stuff in them. SV98 spawn and an attachments spawn. So when I look at that, I don't see much, but some players do. So whatever, I just kept it, I guess. No, I sold it. It's not here, so I sold it. It wasn't enough. If you compare that to, say, SAN 314, it's more my style here. Well, you have a weapon buck, weapon spawn, loose loot. Not much, but you do have a lead X spawn, right? A med bag. What's the difference? Same thing. And some loose loot. So it's just a little more packed. I prefer bring keys for that instead of and going to a few rooms rather than the whole thing, because then you're probably gonna meet someone or scavs at some point. So the resort case, personally, I would keep it. I'm thinking about using a THICC case for maybe resort case keys and some mall keys that are really useful. These are my favorite keys. I put them in my THICC case. Maybe we can go over them, but probably detail them at some point. These are my favorite keys that I have, yeah. And I barely use them. This is the mall case. I used to have one for each reserve. Reserve was full, but I play reserve a lot, so I put a bunch of reserve keys here. So this is probably going to go at some point. I'm not going to care much. I don't use them. Maybe I'll keep the resort and labs keys and stuff like that. Also have a general holder here. So if ever I have a key that I'm not sure where it goes, I just drag it into the docs case. Gonna have it here as a sort key card lab key card instead of having them all over the place. Gonna have a small container that you don't bring with you. You can put here if you decide to sell them, if you decide to trade them. These are some extra Sturman keys. I'm still undecided what to do, but at least I have a spot for them. You'll notice that on this side is stuff I use for my guy all the time. And they're like little items. I don't really care to drag them all the time, so I kind of leave them here. And for the bigger items, I will use the THICC case. So, and they're mostly for my gearing up. So helmets, vests, armor, headsets, and I have one for the guns here too. Two for the armor, which I find works pretty well. If Prepper has stuff for me, I can drop it. Boom, boom, boom. Meds case, kind of simple, kind of easy. The golden stars, the ibuprofen, these are for the crafting of the propitals. You can also throw the propitals here. The AFAC I don't use much. Use IFACs more, but I just store them, and at some point I'm just gonna start using IFAC. AFAC, and I just keep buying IFACs. An extra survival kit and a grizzly here, because if you say you skipped your healing phase, you can just come here, right click on the grizzly, heal everything, and it's going to heal everything that you have, and it's going to be able to do that a few times. So it's the easiest way to heal. I'm sure a lot of people are doing that, but it's kind of a neat trick. Always have a grizzly down here. Grenade case, it fills up sometimes. You just bring more. If it starts filling up, bring 2 nades instead of 1 nade. You know, or if you want to do your grenadier quest, you can bring that. Also where I put my crafting material for green powder, which is I think it requires 2 of these and 1 of these. You can craft green powder after you're done a prepper quest where you have to bring him 10 of these. You just buy 10 of those on the market, and then he sells it to you for a very, very good price. You make green gunpowder on a cheap. You can also put fuse and grenade material for the craft also. So this case is depleting all the time and refueling. Grenade case is depleting all the time and refueling. Same thing with the food case. It's depleting, you know, whether it's sugar, chocolate, crafting into booze. Booze comes here too. I don't keep much water or food. It's mostly all for crafting materials. Right, you'll recognize the squash for crafting Tarcola. What else do we have here? So I don't see myself not having those case, but if at some point I decide not to craft too much, then I would forego the Olodilnik, but it's got to be one of the first case that you need. You can trade it with what's his face? This guy. For ammo case, I find them taking I mean, it's quite useful, to be frank. It's got to be the most useful one besides the scav case. Just throw your bullets in here, sort them out, grab one, and you start adding them up together, make some space. Quite simple to organize. There we go. Make extra space, and now all your bullets are kind of easy to see. So I have this one here for mostly pistols and a few shotgun rounds. I'm also going to put the PS ammo, which is a crafting material. I don't use it, just craft with it. Second one is mostly for small semi-automatic. So whether it's the P90, P90 weapon. This is the VSS or AS Val, and the MP7 bullets. These are smaller submachine guns. Very powerful, but still. Third case is for M4s and AKs and Blackout .300. Right. You don't want to put much more than that because you're gonna play with these bullets a lot. So it's quite enough, and one container will do. Frankly, like I don't use this BP. I could sell. The other thing is you want to sell like your best bullets all the time, because you're gonna make $1 million out of just cleaning your box of your best bullets, the ones you can sell. Like this is 50,000's worth of bullets right here. What else? M995. I mostly died with it, so it was in my container. You can use better bullets if you want to top your mags. Top ammo case here is gonna have some marksman, sniper, and the .366 APs. That's where I keep them when I want to use that gun. Lapua Magnum. Lapua Magnum that you can't sell because you do want to sell it if you have it. 30,000 a round or something stupid. So I mean, yeah, in terms of, so basically most of the stuff is gonna appear here, right? You'll notice something incredible. I have this left side for case and this left side for loose material. As I pick up the material that I need here, it fills up with stuff that I maybe drag out, and then I can just take it and drop it in the right case. Right, so Propetal here. Most of it is cleaned up already. Just crafting material. So personally, I prefer having this like that rather than having half of that full and having to go up. Or just go this way instead. Preference. You get a THICC case for doing a mission. I had never sold it until a week ago, and I mean it's the best in the game. I mean, you have such a huge slot, 14 by 14. You can put anything. So personally, I choose to put armor and weapons. Used to put some parts too, but it's not really worth it. I'm just gonna put some extra mags, maybe handguns. I don't want to clog it too much. If you have really good handguns, I think I'm gonna get rid of the small THICC case. Maybe I'm just gonna keep it for mags. But you know, as you build your gun, quite often you might just buy into the mag, so you might not need it. Or some extra lights, some extra clash that you find. Big fan of the clash, so I like to store it instead of selling it and rebuying it. And I have a bag of tea bags because it's my favorite bag. But whatever your bag is, it should be able to fit inside one another, I hope, because it's much easier to store that way. And you'll find that, yeah, the rest of this here is mostly small stuff that I don't really care to drag into a THICC box or into the med case where I would have to go back in and dig it up every time. So like masks, March, IFAX, keys, you know, condors, extra magazines, gonna fall into your bag like this. Boom, boom. Take your mags. A gun. A pistol if you want to go. A pistol. Right. Easy money. Transfer. And that's about it. Maybe I bring an extra car with me because it's there doing nothing. Extra splint. And if I would have some extra stuff here, I would probably just take it. But it's like really simple to assemble a build. Right, so you have some weapon prepared. I don't. I might just like take this M4 and play with it. Want to go with a pistol run. Got our pistol here. Unload. Get our bullets. I think it's these. Boom. Ready to go. That didn't take long. That didn't take long. That's the goal. It's probably gonna change, you know, with time a little bit. Just gonna cut some of that off. Maybe cut an ammo box. I feel like there's a little bit too much ammo, but it's working properly. Like most ammo boxes are not full. If they're full, just clean it up a bit, and everything operates pretty well. Also, I like the case here on the side, med grenade and autodilnic, because if you have stuff that you come back with, to either craft with or store. So you have extra grenades. You have stuff that you want to craft with. You just drop, 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 drop. Right, super close for proximity. For quick. And that's about it.